Hello, in this one, a Season 7 build tier list. And as always, I try to keep it as new player friendly. I don't add things that doesn't make sense, but most of these tiers, they are not just about the damage that you can do with the skill. It's also about how it feels to progress on those specific skills. There are more variables that impact the overall progression of the skill. Because this tier list is kind of similar to the one we had in Season 6. I also added quite a few new things in here that I hope is gonna help rather than confuse people. So yeah, let's get into this one. Those who are just for the tier list itself, I'm starting with this. I'm not gonna waste your time. So let's go over it very quickly. So Crescent Slash got a buff, really nice one. Kinda requires a Lacrima with a Watcher Stick. Earth Blows just scales insanely good. No doubt, probably the most single target you can have. Deadly Poison Claw was really good last season. It got buffed again. The single target damage is insane. Clear is also good. S tier plus. Fire Bomb Shot got a buff. Got a Bowgun. And Bowgun itself makes Fire Bomb Shot just crazy in damage. At the same time, if you are doing Fire Bomb Shot, you want to do a Dawn specialization. Remember that one. So with all that in mind, Fire Bomb Shot is insane. Ogre Arrow, just a lot of single target damage, not that much multi-target. Lightning Vortex, just good. With Accuban's Punishment, it deals a lot of damage. Any lightning skill, if you have Accuban's Punishment, that is a Scepter, you do so much more damage. And of course, I'm always keeping one minion build, which is Wrathful Knight, and one Sentry, which is Fan Blade Sentry. Because I don't know any alternatives to this, and I don't see many players doing anything else. Even if they do a build, it's one of these two. On S tier, I'm keeping Throw Explosive just because of the changes to how the specializations are right now, especially the Bowgun specialization. If you are going Frenzied Bullet is basically when you dual wield Bowguns, you don't go into overheat state, and Throw Explosive benefits from that a lot. So Throw Explosive definitely S. Ice Crystal Arrow, easy progression like last season, makes sense. Firestorm, good with the unique item. Poison Enough Arrows, got buffed, so it got nerfed a lot in Season 6, and now they are bringing it back little by little. So I would say Poison Enough Arrows definitely S tier. Fire Blow is insane skill that scales insanely good with projectiles, does quite a bit of damage. The only problem, you need to have sunglasses, because the screen clutter is insane. Explosive Slash is good, works good, got nice buffs. Unleash Lightning Shot is just for some variety in here, it's nothing crazy. I should probably keep Unleash Lightning in here. This is Quick Slash. I saw some builds on the Asia leaderboards, some people playing this with combinations with like Whirlwind and so on. Combo nice, was buffed heavily, does a lot of damage. If I had to put it by the damage amount, I would say Combo would be somewhere in here. Absolute Hammer, I don't know why people play it, but I've seen some people doing some great damage. The problem is you have a bunch of single target damage, but you don't have that much multi-target damage because of the interaction with the skill on maps. Like, the skill itself is the problem. A tier, Wind Blade damage-wise could be so much higher, but I'm putting it in A tier just because it requires some setup. That's the only reason. Cross Slash kinda lacks a little bit of multi-targets. Shield Strike, same thing. Fissure is really nice, but requires gloves. Otherwise, Fissure could be even like S tier or S tier plus, but Fissure requires a high tier gloves for this to work perfectly good. On low tier gloves, it's still decent, but High tier ones is much better, even though maybe even low tier ones would be good enough right now if you can generate bunch of energies all the time. So this one, but on a question mark. Frostwave is good, it doesn't have any specific uniques. You awaken it to strike range count, which makes your Frostwave basically full screen, widescreen. Yeah, and you just blast with this one. It has the damage, it has the clear. It's just that the damage scaling is a little bit harder than any other skill that we see in the upper tier lists. Unleash Lightning, as I said, and they keep in Whirlwind. Because this season is so much easier, people getting so much more damage, they pick up Whirlwind to do fast maps. A lower level maps but fast, for like chaos points farming, or just in general. So, right now, this is where the difference begins. I don't know if it's gonna be more helpful or more confusing, but I'm gonna try to do my best. So spells. There was quite a bit of changes to the spells, but most of this comes from the new Brilliance Zodiac specialization, which improves spell builds by quite a lot, damage-wise, survivability-wise. Like spells right now is much better. That's why I'm keeping them above 80. Because I can't really test every single thing, I just can see the potential. And by now, I think most of the spell builds are definitely A plus even. So, but that boils down to the new gloves that we got that's called Spica gloves. And those gloves give you cast speed amplification and damage amplification, which is really huge for the spell builds. After that, there are some changes to some of the skills. For example, Black Plague right now, with the new boots and the spell changes, it might be a really strong damage build and survivability build just because of the boots. The boots are insane. At the same time, I'm adding Toxic Flame together with the Vanishing Staff. And again, this could be strong, but I think Toxic Flame still lacks a little bit of damage, but only in combination. After that, it's kinda all of the, like, maybe the better skills. If you choose to do spells, you can choose from Frostbomb, because Frostbomb has a unique shoulders that increases damage by quite a lot, and they think they fixed all of the bugs that we had. Then of course, Storm Explosion, Wings of Ignition, and Lightning Wave. I don't know why, but I've seen a lot of people in Asia doing Lightning Wave. The damage might be good, but Lightning Wave interaction on the map is really bad. It's as bad as Absolute Hammer or Ogra Arrow for the single target, so I don't know about this one. But yeah, this is how spells looks like. I only keep the strong ones, of course you can choose more spells, but I would say these have the most potential, besides the Lightning Wave. I don't know about Lightning Wave, but I think it's necessary to at least mention this one. After that, combinations. So in this one, there are some interesting things this season. That's why I'm basically doing this. So it's a Poison Area with the new Surging Knowledge Necklace. And people do this for some quite a bit of damage. But the problem is, you're not gonna be able to use this effectively on maps. The neck itself is good for a critical builds, as it gives you maximization chance. And Poison Area is more like a single target damage that you're only probably gonna be able to do on the bosses. But you're gonna see people doing this, especially on poison builds. Another one is Illusion Hooks plus the new shield that gives you ability to cast your illusion hooks around you. Plus, this shield makes you crit all the time against stunned enemies, which happens really often in the end game when you start doing maps. So this shield is not just only good for illusion hook, it's just good in general. At the same time, there is one more thing, which is Veil of Protection together with Aquila Tenity. So this is more about defense, because whenever you have this Aquila Tenity chests, your Veil of Protection applies both buffs, Earth Wind and Wind Wind. So yeah, it's just hella defensive one, and the chest itself is really nice. It gives you HP amp, barrier amp, immune to reflect damage, some minus resource cost. So this combination is really, really nice. After that, critical maximize build. So this boils down to just some pieces of advice. If you're critical, you want a caster refraction ring all the time, as this gives you flat critical rate. If you're maximize build, you want to go Band of Certainty, pick up Seal of Persistence, and tap into energy build. So I'm adding this, but it just means this is energy build stuff with the maximize build. That's why I always suggest, if you're a new player, just go maximize build. It's much easier to scale your damage, it's much faster, and you can tap into all the energies. You're gonna be strong. In the unknown, I'm keeping 2 things in here, maybe 3 things. Is Attack Impulse. This is an enhanced skill. I've seen more and more players in Korea switching to this, and I've even seen some in Europe. However, I don't know when Attack Impulse becomes better than any other enhance that we are using, for example, Marksman or Fighter's Rat. But I have an idea that it has to do with how you craft your items. But I'm gonna leave it at this stage. I can see the potential, it just requires a little bit more testing. But I want to keep this in here as people would not be confused when they see something like this emerging late into the season. At the same time, I'm leaving Vision Shift in here. Vision Shift is not as much as unknown. It's more like we start to see some crazy builds with Vision Shift. Because you can get your cooldown on your Vision Shift to about 0.3 seconds. So that's around 2.5 attack speed per second. What does this mean? That you can cast about 2, almost 3 Vision Shifts in a second. And what happens is that people doing some crazy stuff much later into the game, when they basically have decked out builds and they don't have anything else to do, they increase damage on the Vision Shift, they trigger it with something like Illusion Hook and the Shield, and they're just having fun. Is that a viable build? Not for most of the players. For that build to be strong, you really need to invest a lot, and you need to already be doing a crazy amount of damage so you could pull off something like this. But if you want to have some fun, you want to I don't know, just do something different, I would say start with Vision Shift. You can do some crazy stuff with this, and it's a movement ability, so you can like clear maps in like 30 seconds or something. But yeah, at the same time, I'm adding Whirlwind Barrage in here. Why Whirlwind Barrage? And the answer is really simple. Whirlwind Barrage, as a channeling skill, doesn't have trigger damage dampening. And of course, because of the Bogan changes, it has so much potential, but it requires, again, some testing and some time investment. I have not seen anyone doing this, but I tested this last season, and it just needed a little bit of damage, and we got the damage from basically the specialization rework for the Bogan. So I think this can have quite a bit of potential, especially when the throw explosive and the firebomb shot is good. People might switch to Whirlwind Barrage just to clear maps fast, as the same as with Whirlwind, right? And of course Blizzard. It's not unknown, Blizzard is good, but requires shit tons of investment, so I'm just gonna skip it. But I wanted to keep it in here. Okay, Lacrima Critical and Maximized. Because of the Lacrima changes, you can have a really good non-legendary Lacrimas right now. If you get that, you can craft some crazy stuff, and your damage is gonna be quite a bit higher than the last season. So where am I going with this? Basically, if you're a critical build and you have a legendary Lacrima with a one-hander, Cause Confuse Hamal Septa is the best you can have in that slot. That how it was in prior seasons. But right now, because of the buffs to the absorption rate, you can probably critical build requires two-hander plus one-hander yellow Lacrima with like 120% absorption rate. If you have that one, I think Hamal Septa is no longer the best for critical. At the same time, it's gonna depend what you get besides the one-hander leggy Lacrima. If you get something like belt or ring as uniques, it's still gonna be the best. However, my point is, keep looking out for yellow Lacrimas, because those can also be really good. So, Hamal Septa for critical builds, and of course for maximized builds, you want to do Break Off Cycle. Break Off Cycle scales from your critical damage and converts into damage jump. This is simplest explanation. So what do you need to know? You want to have around 350 critical damage on a maximized build, which in sense doesn't make sense to you. However, this is how this specific Break Off Cycle Lacrima works. So yeah, Break Off Cycle, you want some critical damage around 350, and you're gonna see your damage is gonna skyrocket on the maximized build. That's another reason why maximized builds are so good. Though both of these weapons you can get from Gold Gamba. You just have to buy Mysterious Scepters or Mysterious Two-Hander Swords till you get the item that you need. Low Life. So Low Life is Septa Determination. It's a new chest that gives you quite a bit of damage amp, and at the same time, because of the Zodiac changes, Low Life is a good thing to do right now. It's actually viable. So if you're interested in that, do that. I didn't test any low life stuff because I'm playing hardcore, and on hardcore playing low life is a death sentence. So yeah, not doing that. And then Don't Miss. I'm gonna keep in Don't Miss. I kind of wanted to do it. I didn't want to do it, but by this, I just only want to shout out some of the uniques. Some low tier uniques that you can basically drop when you're doing campaign, or you can straight up buy those from either from the Gold Gamba that I mentioned before, or just from the black market currency. And one of those is Speaker Regret. Speaker Regret is really strong helmet right now. If you can get it early, it boosts. You're gonna have so much HP from this helmet. It's crazy how good it is. It says doubles Zodiac stats. It doesn't double your strength, intelligence, or dexterity. It doubles the effect that those stats give. So strength basically gives you HP, flat HP. So this helmet doubles that flat HP. Another one is Leg Bone of the Wind. This one is just for the movement speed amp, so you would be fast. There is nothing better than running at capped movement speed. Hilt of Life and Death. This one is just for survivability and some HP amp. It's not that much necessary. Light Portraits, again, a nice low tier shoulders that drops everywhere all the time. Gives you some HP amp and some armor. Sandglass, again, same idea. HPs, resistances, so on. And Medal of Penance is a nice necklace early if you don't have convert mana and you want to have convert mana, or you want to save some specialization points to pick up more damage instead of convert mana on your Zodiacs. Yeah. So this is everything I wanted to show basically. This one is a long one, but I added more stuff. It's not anymore just tier list. It's more of a summary of the season 7. Feels like more like this. But yeah, GG's, have fun. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. By the way, something about me. I did ICA at the start. It was nice. I got some damage. I'm doing high level maps. However, I'm switching to Throw Explosive just because I want to test more builds, and I think Throw Explosive has a lot of potential. So if you're interested, you can watch me on YouTube, on Twitch. I'm doing those. And check the description. I'm gonna add as much stuff as I can in this description because I have some of the builds, I have some of the explanations on the energy stuff. So if you're looking for more info, check the description. You're gonna find something in here. GG's, have fun, and see you later.